Hello everybody, back here again for Vlog-A-Day, and today is Thursday the 29th, and today was a beautiful, lovely day. A little hot, not as bad as it could have been, but a little hot. Got this morning stupid early, had to meet with the puppy, so I'm up at like 5:30 a.m. It's ridiculous of all things, so got up, got him settled down. I didn't have to keep him quiet and stuff because my bride is not here. She's actually staying out at the golf course at their house, and worked out well. So allowed him a chance to really roughhouse, and got him and Bruce started playing pretty early, which is always nice and fun to see. Let them really get to beating each other up, I guess, lack of a better term. So they got to playing and stuff, got them outside, got them playing quite a bit. Had to get around fairly decent quickly, not real fast, but decided I was going to run up. Had to go take my father-in-law to an EEG at the hospital, and had a couple other things had to get taken care of. And he also has his record player broke. He broke the damn thing. He was trying to do something. He was doing whatever with his stuff. Broke some wires in the cartridge, and then couldn't figure it out. They tried to get a repair kit, ended up just replacing the whole cartridge, and it still doesn't work. So we have no idea what he done with this thing, but we got to take it back in and try and get it figured out and get it fixed. So who knows how well it's going to go. But yeah, yay! Went ahead from there though. Got that taken care of stuff, got the whole dog done. Decided to leave Van home because I'm picking up Gracie up there, because it's the fact that Gracie is dog aggressive and I'm not sure how it's going to go if they're in the truck there, which worst case scenario I would have just put Van in the bed of the truck with the topper and had the window open side AC going back there and stuff too, and plus wind and stuff wasn't that hot. But I just didn't want to have to deal with the hassle. I didn't want to deal with the stress. I didn't want to deal with none of it. So left him home. Him and Bruce going fine. They're alone every once, once a week or so. If I go run my route during that week when he's here during Monday through Thursday, he's home for probably the same length time or longer than I am right now going to have him alone. So headed up, went ahead, got up here, got my father-in-law. I had that weird thing where I was going to go try and grab like maybe a breakfast, biscuit thing or something somewhere, and didn't. It's that back and forth. Couldn't make my mind up what I want to do, so instead just tell it. So I ended up running over there to get him. Went to go get him for the EEG. Basically, everything's all good to go. Get him out. He's supposed to have his record player unhooked so I can take it to the record shop to see if the salesman there can help fix it. And if not, they got to then try and find a repairman to send it off to, whatever and whatnot. So I get there and stuff, and he doesn't say, hey, come get the record player and anything and whatnot. And he puts his trash can and he's recycling, and not in the middle of the driveway, but close enough to the middle that once I got in and tried to back out, it would have been a pain in my ass. I would have had to go the opposite direction to go around. I'm like, just why are you doing this? Why block your goddamn driveway? It doesn't make any sense. He done this to me before. He done it one day. He drug it down and put it behind my truck. Like I had to get out and move the goddamn thing because I'm like, do you not realize? Like, come on, man, you gotta be smarter than this. You gotta be able to figure this out. So went ahead, said to hell with it, and he doesn't have his record player. So I asked him like, hey, where's your record player? Oh yeah, I couldn't bring it out. I can't figure out how to unhook it. I'm like, what? I can't figure out where the cables go. I tried to figure it out, couldn't figure it out. I'm like, okay, that's fine. You talk about the fact without the record player is like, listening to music is what gives him his greatest joy. And I'm like, your decision was, you're supposed to unhook this thing a day or two ago or stuff, at least last night, bare minimum, have it fully unhooked and ready to go, which then you would have known it wasn't able to hook it. So I assume he tried last minute. Oh crap, I forgot I was supposed to unhook this. Couldn't get it done. But last night when you couldn't get it done, say, hey, I can't see how to get my record player unhooked. I can't figure out the cables or whatever, then you can be like, hey, can you come in a little early, help me get this thing unhooked, and then you can take it to them while I'm sitting at the doctor getting the EEG done. And he's, nope, doesn't think that, does not have any concept of that at all. So I'm like, well, that was a big part of my day, was going to be going and, taking this record player is something to do. I've got like a weird 2 hour and like 45-minute gap. They said the surgery's going to take, at least 2 hours. They said the test will take 2 hours. He has to be there half an hour before it starts. They figure about 15 minutes getting cleaned up afterwards and stuff. So I'm looking at 2 hours and 45 minutes. And I'm like, okay, so I also have to meet Gracie here, which is the dog it's not really the friendliest dog for dogs, so I can't really take her to the dog park. I can't do a lot of stuff that I normally could have thought I could have done. But so that doesn't work. So I'm like, okay, no big deal. I was like, no problem. Now I'm like, I have nothing to do. But it's that weird thing. If I drive home and back, it's an hour and a half round trip just to drive straight home and back. I'm like, what good does that do me? Like, and then again, the whole Gracie doesn't like riding the truck and da-da-da. So I said to hell with it. I had talked to them last night and said, hey, I'm going to be up here until probably like 11:30 in the morning. And if you want to, instead of dropping Gracie off at like 9:30 or stuff, we talked about doing a meeting to drop the dog off. You can do it later. And like, oh no, we'd rather just drop it off early. We want to drop the dog off early. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, that's fine. It would have been easier for me and stuff. So I made other plans. I didn't make other plans that would have not entailed having a dog. So I didn't have the record player to take back. I'm like, no big deal. And then I get a text from her going, I think I read your message wrong. That's fine. If you're going to be in town, the doctor and stuff, and da-da-da. I said, well, I'm not going to be the doctor. I'm going to go to the park. I'm going to go, somewhere and hang out and stuff, waiting for his appointment to get done. And she goes, okay, just let me know when it's done. We'll meet then. And I'm like, shit. So now I'm in that weird thing, like, had I known this, I would have made other plans for right now and stuff and whatever, but did not happen. It was like, hey, whatever. So it is what it is there. Went ahead, said, held it. Basically picked him up, dropped him out at the hospital. He headed in to go get his testing done. I went over and thought, well, I'll go check and basically look for like a little side-by-side, something used. And holy crap, man, with this pandemic, side-by-side prices are insane. Like what they have, what last year or 2 years ago easily would have been probably a $12,000 unit is $22,000. Like they're holding their value way too damn high, and it's ridiculous. So did not have much luck there. The salesman I met was just a complete blubbering idiot. I asked him on the price of the couple. Actually, I asked him about those side-by-sides. He goes, oh, those are new. And I'm like, these are new? The one has like massive body damage on it and shit. And like it has like clearly has, issues and stuff with the whole, the wear conditioning. And he's like, I said, this is new. I'm like, this doesn't look new to me. And he goes, oh, I guess it's got a yellow tag. That makes it used, I guess. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of knowledge. But I'm like, okay, what the hell do you not know? Did you just start yesterday? I'm like, okay, this makes no sense. So I said, what's the price on these two here and stuff? And he keeps trying to tell me about this boat. So I happen to be looking at the boat. And we walk to the door and I'm like, I don't want the boat. I don't need the boat. The boat's not what I'm after. I'm just here kind of just mostly killing time, but also in that whole process of whatever. So I'm like, la-di-da kind of thing. So I'm like, okay, whatever, it is what it is. So I went around inside just kind of killing time. At this point, I am legitimately just killing time, trying to wait for the doctor to, find out the test thing. I'm like, I got nothing else going on for the next 2.5 hours. So I decided, you know what, to hell with it. I head over to the beach, drive down. Basically, I have the beach pass. The Ormond Beach also is part of Volusia County, so the same beach pass I have. Find the little spot driving. You kind of drive under like a little hotel looking thing. It's kind of a weird spot to get to the beach, and it's not very long. It's not very much driving on the beach, but they got a lot of it blocked off for regular people. I think there's a lot more old people up here who don't want driving on the beach. So that's kind of what they end up blocking it down. So I park in there, I back in, I get myself all out, get my lawn chair out, I got my drink, I got my center stuff, I get my cigar out, I'm getting ready and stuff. I pull my shirt off, I'm like, might as well sit here in the sun for a little bit with no shirt on. I won't be able to stay here for the next 2 hours, but I can stay here for a little bit with no shirt on, I'll be good to go. I literally whip out my my cigar. As I'm lighting my cigar up, my phone rings, and it's my father-in-law saying they're done with the test. And I'm like, what? The test took less than 30 minutes. Even though they told me it'll take 2 hours. It took less than 30 minutes. And I'm like, son of a bitch, you gotta be kidding me. So I had sat in my chair for all of about a minute and a half, and then I basically packed my chair back up. I put all my stuff away. I put my water bottle away. I put everything stuff. And I basically drive back over there, put my shirt back on, and I drive back over to the hospital to pick him up. Then contact the dog owner and said, hey, test was way faster than they said it was going to be, yada, yada. So we are basically free and clear. As soon as you want to meet, what time would be good for you to meet, like at Sam's Club, whatever. And they 100% said, we can be there shortly and yada, yada. So I'm like, okay, cool, no big deal. So I went ahead and sure enough, we basically chilled out. We met at Sam's Club, gave the dog back. My father-in-law was like, where are you going? That's not the way to my house. I said, I know, I have somewhere else to go. I got to pick up a dog and stuff. He's like, oh, okay. I was waiting the right way home. And I'm like, that's right. It's not the right way home. But I'm like, okay, whatever. So we're finished up, la-di-da. And sure enough, we go through and basically get it all done, get the dog dropped off. We're good to go. Everything's happy and hunky-dory. And get back from there. I drop him off the house. I head home. Get there, let the dogs, play and stuff. Of course, Van's there. And Gracie's being a little on the shitty side. She's not doing the greatest. She's not being horribly mean, but she's definitely by no means being, kind. It's kind of just ignoring each other and stuff. I had to kind of give in their butt a little bit, kind of yell at them a couple times to knock it off, kind of deal and whatnot. So, but overall went pretty good. Had to run out and walk Teddy, which I did also. That went perfectly fine. Gracie just stays in the truck. She doesn't seem to care. She actually doesn't mind the truck at all, even though she drools because she hates car rides. When it's sitting still, she's perfectly fine with it. So we got done there, chilled out. Got back to the house, played with the dogs, yada yada, all the fun stuff. They came, picked up Van. Gracie stayed around quite a while longer today. Was not a big deal at all. Actually had a great time. Everything was simple. Got my run in. Took Gracie with me and stuff. We got caught in a massive rainstorm, like just I'm talking marble-sized raindrops kicking the crap out of me and stuff. It was just ridiculous. Gracie got freaked out. She did not want to run any farther and stuff. I'm like, well, you kind of have to because we're like a long ways from home. We're like almost a mile from the house, so we kind of have to run here. And I finally got her to settle down, and she got less scared, and we kept on running, and she was perfectly fine with the whole thing. Got back here. We gave Van back. Everything just kind of chilled out. I ended up eating some chips and dip for dinner. Horrible. I'm eating like shit. My bride gone. It is what it is. But she got out there, Teddy. She basically dealt with him. Everything's going great with her and the dog. Everything's fine there. From there, we basically just kind of hung out for the evening. Made some plans. Ended up talking to my father-in-law about. I talked to my wife for a lot about trying to convince my father-in-law to sell his car. We got a quote from CarMax for the closest it's going to ever be to what he owes on it, because he bought it, I think, like 6-year payments at the minimum payments and 4.5% interest and crap. It's, oh my God, it's upside down. But because of the pandemic, there's a shortage on cars and stuff, and I think we have a chance to get out of this for a fairly decent amount of money that will be reasonable. So hopefully that goes well. But yeah, we'll see what happens there and all that fun stuff. So we had a long talk with that, and then tomorrow I get to make that call to try and talk him into selling his car. And then if we clear him for driving, then we can go buy him something else and stuff and get him a much better deal, get him out of the 4.5% interest. Oh my Lord, that's ridiculous. So, but anyway, that's all I got for right now. Finally, they came and picked up the Gracie and stuff. Everything went fine there. Everything was good. Chilled out and finally called it a night. So talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.